Come get your money. PayLake Carp fishing with Donald Barrow.
All right.
Hey, this is Donald Barrow making what's in the bucket, and this is the at the lake version. We couldn't make this in advance; it'd probably be too dry. Uh, Patrick niece made this recipe uh, a couple of weeks ago. I do a little different, not much, but it's actually what I'm using though. What we got is some old-fashioned oats, and we got some quick oats. See, Patrick, I open up the lids before I film because it take me 10 minutes. No. All right, Panko, plain. Uh, we uh, we end up with old-fashioned oats, uh, quick oats, 18 ounces, 18-ounce buckets, 8 ounce of Panko. And the Pankos and the quick oats, Panko's a little in between. It packs really good on its own. It's not a breaker, but it doesn't bind too heavy. Old-fashioned oats, they do bind heavy. Uh, so usually use a breaker. Uh, I say that, but last night I did a recipe. Uh, well, you saw it last week, and I used this old-fashioned oats and syrup, and it worked fine. Uh, Daniel Smith used it over at his local lake. I can't think of it. I went to it too, and he cleaned up 30 fish. So I'm mixing the crap out of this. Uh, then I'll start pouring on some syrup.
Good.
Cool.
Now,
Guys, had a little battery failure. Kind of strange. Uh, I just threw in 4 caps of VBN, maple VBN, and stirred it in. We'll see. I know Patrick used Wicketed Butternut. I'm just a big fan of VBN. Uh, this is new. I can't tell you I've used this one though. The maple. I've used the Hubs VBN made by Wicket. In fact, that was my very first Wicket flavor. Was the Hubs VBN. It just it works great. I really use that in bean, and I've used it in oat. I tell you what, it is strong. I can smell it. That's all I needed. When you're home, you you got the advantage of a microwave, but when you're at the pond, you know, and I'm making this pond made, so I know the pond owner and I know the pond boss. I could sneak in there and warm this up, but I want to make it without warming it up, just because uh, if you're going to make something at the pond, better plan for this. Oh man, all right. So we're giving it a shot. I tell you what, it's Saturday night, and like I said, this is what's in the bucket, lakeside edition. Um, uh, I don't have anything else to throw in this bucket. Uh, so what you see is definitely what you get. This is what I'll be fishing with. Uh, I'm pouring in all 16 ounces of this Karo syrup. Like I said, it's cold. I wish I'd go to the microwave. And the biggest advantage, one, I think it sets in faster. But the big advantage is when you go to steering it around. Uh, when you go to stir it around, it's like water, and it mixes in real good. Um, the other thing is when I heat it, that's where I throw in my flavor. So I don't have this stuff. My flavor is already incorporated on the in the or in the syrup. So Patrick, he really stirred in a lot. I think he put in a quarter or a half a bottle. I think we went in a half a bottle. Uh, so I'm not gonna. I don't go that heavy. Like I said, I think I got. Well, I do have 4 capfuls of flavor, and I have. What did I put? I put 4 in here. Uh, I want to say this is a new recipe for me, but it's not new. I used to do this. It's one of my first recipes that I used to use. Exactly this. My partner, Tom, this is how he makes oats. So when I saw Patrick making it, I was like, son of a gun, he beat me to it. But that's all right. He fishes for wicked. I've not met him, but uh, I'm sure things will be all right. If you know, it wasn't his recipe. It's been a recipe that a lot of guys use, but this is uh, this is a pond made recipe. It's a syrup recipe. The biggest pond made recipe is usually with just pond water or with oats, but or pond water or corn. But uh, this lake, if you run corn, you'll run into catfish, maybe some bluegill, brim, or whatever you call them, specks. They call them everything. Yeah, sunfish. That was the other word, not specks. Where I grew up, specks were crappie, but yeah. But you can run into those, and if you run into catfish, the little catfish, it'll just ruin your bait. It'll ruin your day. The little ears you see is my partner's dog, Rocky. He's a bull terrier, or not a bull terrier. He's a Boston terrier, and he goes everywhere Tom goes, and that's a cool thing. Uh, I'm stirring this bucket. I don't know if you can see it real good. Uh, Patrick's advice was, oh, he covered every ounce of oats with Simple Grape. Well, I think I didn't talk about the strawberry, Simple Strawberry, I'm sorry. I'm using strawberry pie, and I'm a big fan of Simple Strawberry and Simple Grape. Uh, but there are recipes. It works great in millet for me. It works great in chow. Uh, it works all right for me in oats, and I've used it in grits. Okay, it's super strong and super thick, so you always got to compensate your recipe a little bit if you're going to go that route, uh, which isn't rocket science. Uh, I brought 2 things along. Uh, Watching me mix this is going to get pretty boring, so I'm going to speed it along. Uh, this will This was set up. I got a lot more stirring to do. It'll be boring video, so I won't do that. But what I will show you, because I always talk about it, if things go sideways and I make a ball and it doesn't break fast enough, usually anything, 5 minutes is a long time for me. I like I prefer 3 minutes, 2, 3 minutes, but 5 minutes is a general rule of thumb. If it takes longer than 5 minutes, throw some quick grits in it. This is a preferred breaker for something like this if it goes sideways. The other thing you can do is, I tell you what, it's already almost too dry, so it's actually perfect. Is I carry wheat bran, and I don't know how well you see the wheat bran. Uh, uh, it looks a lot like it reminds me of soybean meal, but it works. It's probably my favorite. If I knew this wasn't going to throw, uh, broke too long, off the start, like you do in trout chow, you you put in a cup of wheat bran, and it does the job. It really helps break stuff down. It doesn't ruin the packing ability. It's my favorite breaker. But once the bait's made, like I said, these quick grits, you know, buy the off-brand, the cheap ones, they all work. They help break it down. They really, and when you pack your ball, and I'm saying pack the ball, You pack your ball and you throw it in the bucket to see how long it's going to break. Uh, right then, if you're throwing in some quick grits because it's not breaking fast enough, the stuff really bubbles and it tears apart the ball. One other thing I've been doing, it's no secret. My favorite, I was bashing the sinful strawberry, but I use it as a dip more than anything because it's hard to get, and it is so good as a dip. It's unbelievable. If you're not using it as a dip, and I dip my two balls or my pickups. Pig flipper or plain pickup. Uh, I usually put a puff or a pop. I use two hooks on one hook and I put a kicks on the other. That way the kicks will lay in the pile more and the puff or the pops, either one will rise more. I don't like throwing two puffs, two pops, two kicks as much as I like mixing them. It's just a superstition. I know it works. I've done it plenty of time, but my theory behind there is one's going to float higher, and that's what I want. I want one of the pickups to float higher, and I like the other one. You'll see little beads on my hooks. Um, some people will fish with those beads. If the bait flies off, the carp have hit those beads. I'm not so lucky, but I use one. I just put one bead, rubber bead on my hook, uh, and that's for me to identify more than anything else. That's where I put my kicks. you know. So when I'm fishing and if I catch a fish and he's got the bead in its mouth, then then, that's the kicks, that's the pig flipper pickup that I'm throwing that night. Uh, you know, uh, you know, you it's the first thing you change out if things start going slow on you. If you were catching them and then they go slow on you, or if you're not catching them all night and you're just trying new pickups, you can try new bait. Uh, if I've learned anything this year from trying so many baits, is um, don't throw so many baits at the lake just because they're not working. Pick one. Tonight it's going to be oats. I'm going to make another video later tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. It depends on the light. And I'll make one with grits, my prison grits. And those will be my two baits tonight. Don't say anything. I do have some rice just in case. And I still have some mix. I got some beans, but I'm gonna try as best I can to stay on to the strawberry oats. I don't think that's going to be a big challenge because oats in this lake, it's been on fire, just like they were in the other lake I was at last night that I still can't remember the name. Damn it! Uh, and I'll put it in the comments. And um, Yeah, Oats is on in a lot of places. Grits are coming back in. I've been told that. Yeah, in fact, I seen it last week where it came in at this pond late at night. So that's why I'm not making my grits now. The prison grits take about 30 minutes to set up, and so I can make them, and they'll set up. If things start slow, I'll make them halfway through my set. Or I'll throw out planning on keeping them out an hour. 30 minutes in, if things aren't happening and things are starting to slow down, I'll make some grits up, and they last. You can keep them going. I could make them now, and I could throw them all night with some water and some spray. But the longer it goes, the trickier they get. And when you make them hot out of the start, they're beautiful. So uh, I'll make it, you know, a couple hours into this tournament if I'm not ripping with these guys, and if I am, then they'll just stay in the bucket for next week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, everybody. What's in the bucket? Oats.